Why play Karthus Jungle? Well, he puts out tons of damage. His ultimate makes him a constant global threat. He clears camps quickly and easily, and he scales into a late game god. However, he is incredibly squishy and often makes use of his passive, and he can be incredibly mana hungry, especially in the early game. Karthus' passive is upon dying, he enters a zombie state for 7 seconds. During this time, he is rooted in place and his abilities cost 0 mana, and as long as he has E learned, it will automatically trigger on. So keep spamming out your abilities. However, if you want to use ultimate, make sure to use it in the first 4 seconds. Karthus' Q creates a circle on the floor which will detonate after a short delay, dealing damage to all enemies within. If this ability only hits one target, the damage is doubled. Karthus' W places down a wall which will grant sight of the area. Enemies that touch this lose a good amount of magic resist and are slowed. Karthus' E has a passive where he restores mana whenever he kills an enemy. The active is an ability you can toggle on and off, and it will deal damage in a circle around him to all enemies within. Karthus' ultimate is probably the best ultimate in the game. Upon use, he'll start channeling for 3 seconds, and after the end of these 3 seconds, he'll deal damage to all enemy champions. And yes, this means all champions regardless of where they are on the map. This ability has great base damage and pretty good AP scaling, so late game, just pressing this one button will half health all their squishies if not more. For combos, turn on your E and then use W before spamming away with Qs. Remember to click auto attack as well though, as it's easy to forget. From here, if they get away or you get a safe distance away and you can kill them, use your ultimate. For matchups, Karthus scales brilliantly into squishy junglers who basically passively get one shot by his ultimate late game, and he can struggle against champions who negate his ultimate in some way or can simply teamfight better than him. For runes, take this. Dark Harvest is great additional damage. For build order, start Red Monster and Pot into Leandries in tier 2 boots. After this, a Shadow Flame into a Hat are great pickups before finishing your build with any of these as needed. For skill order, start Q then E, then take another point into Q before taking W, and then max Q then E then W, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Smite and Exhaust. Flash will very rarely save you, and slowing a champion and giving yourself more time to land more Qs while they sit in your E is far more valuable. Starting the game as Karthus, you're not known for your amazing ganks, so you almost always want to do a full jungle clear. Karthus is prone to getting invaded, so it's not a bad idea to ward your other side. And then if your opponent does invade on the other side, simply vertical jungle where you go to their other side instead. After completing your first jungle clear, if you can contest Scuttle Crab, go for it. Especially with a Smite available, your Qs deal tons of damage and you can do this incredibly fast. From here, if there's an incredibly free gank, you can go for it. When ganking, always consider the 3 main points of what escapes does your opponent have, what CC does your team bring, and where is the lane pushed to. In gank, your W is a great tool to slow them, but the main thing you're going to be bringing is tons and tons of damage by spamming out your Q with your E. But if no ganks available, keep hard farming as much as you can, with your main focus on being funneling as much gold and experience into yourself as possible. Entering the mid game with your Q spam, you actually take objectives incredibly fast, and you're actually pretty good at getting picks with your ultimate. So get your team to fight, surprise them with the ultimate, and convert into objectives. Entering late game teamfights, you want to play the backline mage. Throw out your W over as many opponents as possible while having your E turned on. From here, spam out those Qs. With Leandries, you will cut through front lines, and if you hit backliners with it, they will pop. If you die, spam out a few abilities, then use ult. Otherwise, once you're a safe distance away, use ult.